Hello and welcome to the new podcast about my book, Attempting Local. Attempting Local follows my journey as I explore Ireland, surf the waves of the North Atlantic, hike the country's rugged mountains, and travel throughout Europe, all while striving toward a master's degree. It's an extremely honest account of how tough it can be to leave everything behind and move abroad, though it simultaneously demonstrates the beauty of a life of solo travel. Episode number 5, An Englishman in Ireland. Before we get started, I have to say thank you to all my patrons. Amazingly enough, I was able to get 6 patrons prior to the show's release, and I've already got another one. Your support makes a huge difference, and allows me to put more time into creating, which only improves the quality of this podcast. I have to personally thank Ryan Hove, a great friend of mine, and another very old friend who wants to remain anonymous. Both of these guys are major patrons. I genuinely appreciate their support and commitment to the Attempting Local project. One last note, this episode has an accompanying YouTube video. If you find yourself more interested in Dom's visit or the Cliffs of Moher, head to YouTube and search either Cullan McNamara or Cliffs of Moher and Galway nightlife. This video will allow you to dive deeper into this experience and see the cliffs for yourself. Anyway, thanks for the interruption and enjoy the show. Entry number 13, September 29th, 2018, 34 days since moving to Ireland. Entry title, Dom. My great friend Dom is currently here for a visit. It's been a blur so far, quickly passing, with sounds and lights and scenery flashing before us, which will all too soon fade back to the dull reality of school. He arrived Thursday night and we spent most of our time together chatting in the local pubs. Conversations we have go way beyond the realm of normal drunken chatter. We spoke of our ambitions, hopes, fears, philosophies, ethics, and so on. When we speak, we grow. We push each other, encourage the crossing of comfort zones like the fording of a feisty river. It's a pleasure to engage in such mutually beneficial talks, to forget the relentless ticking of seconds passing, to truly live in a moment unfettered by cell phones and distractions. This I wrote as Dom and I were on the bus to the Cliffs of Moher. I originally planned to complete the entry while sitting on the edge of those cliffs. There's just something about being inches from certain death that invigorates more life, injecting it straight into the bloodstream. But as it's become increasingly apparent, my plans for this journal have been consistently stymied. I failed to finish this entry, which has been the case with the last few. Now that I'm on a plane to Malta for the weekend, I finally have time to jot down some thoughts. Dom's visit was replenishing for my soul and mental state. It was so impactful to see such a close friend while living abroad. Of course, being that he's from England, my current location actually made his journey easier, and this jaunt proved crucial for both of us. We spoke from our hearts, reassuring one another of our equal ability to fashion dreams into reality. I recorded most of his visit to post to YouTube for my travel vlog, and I couldn't be more pleased that I did so. I'd normally be too anxious to film, especially in cities or popular tourist areas, but I refused to let it stop me this time. No matter how inconvenient or ridiculous it was to haul the camera gear, I opted for it. To craft a shared memory into something tangible, something our mutual friends and respective families could experience along with us. And having Dom only made the video more human, comical, honest, and relatable. I'm generally hesitant to point the camera at others in fear of making them uncomfortable. In the end, though, he did remarkably well. He accepted that Sunday was a study day for me and agreed to sit in coffee shops for hours on end. We occasionally chatted when I required a break from my eyes or my mind, but it was a surprisingly productive session overall. Again, we spilled deep thoughts into the air, hoping for comfort, which was given and then reciprocated by the other. We had the equal power of easing the other's mind out of total belief in what we were saying. Nothing we ever said was hollow. That's the beauty of our friendship. It comes from a place of trust and honesty. Dom departed with a hug and a forced goodbye. It was an unwelcome word, but it also offered excitement. Dom is leaving for Nepal in a little over a week to volunteer with our great mutual friend Lewis. That's the next step in his journey. Mine, surviving grad school. In my journal and the original draft of this book, I chose not to include the conversation I had with Dom. I figured because it was on YouTube, it would be an unnecessary addition here. Looking back now, years later, I understand how important that conversation really was, and it will never stop being relevant. Without even looking back at the video, I can recall nearing the end of our cliffside walk and finding a secluded lookout point. It was a rocky outcrop that provided an excellent view, and it was a far enough trek from the visitor center that hardly anyone else was strolling by. We were uninterrupted, listening to the waves crashing against the rock hundreds of feet below. I set up the camera on my little tripod facing toward the sea. Dom sat next to it so that he was out of the frame. Once positioned correctly, I stepped in front of the camera and took a seat. It was a static shot, just me and the unbelievable backdrop. Pale rock, grass greener than you've ever seen on either side of me, and waves slowly rolling into the cliffs. Dom was hidden by choice. Though he knew the device was on and recording, we began our conversation.
Very close to this edge right now. You may not know who my friend is here. His name's Dom Middlehurst. Yeah, we worked together at the YMCA camp that I was at the past 2 summers, and we were some of the directors there, and we've kept in touch pretty well over the past 2 years, which is awesome. We met up in Italy. We went out to Canada for a weekend, and now we're in Ireland. So it's really sweet. It's a cool friendship that we've maintained across a lot of different countries. So we're hoping to see as much of Ireland as we can this weekend, and just continue to see other countries as we go along, you know?
Be careful, man. Be careful, what are you doing? I was thinking, I was like, I've got this opportunity to go and do a teacher, like, nothing's stopping me. Like, literally nothing. Mm-hmm. So why would I ever choose to get a job at home if nothing's stopping me to go travel the world?
Dude, I mean, like, think about how much you grow just doing stuff like this. Yeah. It's unreal. It's not only learning about like the landscape, the culture, the people, but you're learning more about yourself too.
What I've been struggling with, which is a kind of good thing to struggle with, is I've had university, which is especially towards the end was a real struggle, and I was like tied down to that, and I knew when I finished I'd be free, and I had to have something planned for them and be like, all right, I've got through this tough part of my life. I think right now what I'm struggling with is I've actually got that freedom. It's kind of a bit fearful of it a little bit, because kind of like I feel like I'm out in the open, like out in the middle of the sea there.
You almost feel this obligation to use this time that you have to do something very meaningful, because it's like,
if you're that sort of person.
Yeah, exactly. You have the opportunity to learn so much and meet so many people, and
it just feels a little bit uncomfortable, I suppose, subconsciously.
Which is good. I mean, like you do push yourself, because it's not like having a job that's so comfortable. And you might not like it, you might love it, it doesn't matter, but like, you know what it is, it's security.
Yeah.
This kind of lifestyle is not, it's not advised.
No.
But at the same time, it's
life.
Yeah, it's life. It's more life than anything else.
It is. So true. So like, basically when I was in that security of uni, I was so free to just think about dreams and be like, yeah, that's it. Like, I gotta do it. And then when it actually comes to it, I'm like, oh, like, I have to actually go and do that.
Yeah.
Even though it's definitely what I want to do, and I'm not that fearful, but it's just do you know, in the back of your mind, a little bit, you're like, oh.
It's a lot easier.
Like decision time.
Yeah. It's easier to dream something up than to do it, for sure. Like, this whole idea for me coming here, like, dreamed about it for a year, that I was gonna be here. but actually making it happen and being here is that's so tough. Like, it's so hard, and that's like the same thing as if you're thinking about something, it seems like so great. Like you can see it and visualize it, but then once you have to do it, you're like, man, this is scary.
Skydiving. I really enjoyed the skydiving, but I wasn't particularly doing it for the act of skydiving. It was the act of being fearful of something.
Yeah.
And getting over that fear. And the second you can jump out of an aeroplane from 15,000 feet, like nothing's scary. You can do anything. And that was, mentally for me, that was what it was about, was really just trying to get to that next level of thinking outside the box and just trying to be your best self and not let fear get in the way of that.
Hey everyone, I'm Cullan. Thank you for listening to episode number 5 of my new book, Attempting Local. For now, episodes will be released every week, and I'll update you if that changes. This novel took over 2 years to create, from the idea's inception to editing this final version. The endeavor first required about 8 months of planning, applying, and test taking just to get accepted and then to prepare for university in Galway. I then worked through an arduous year-long accelerated master's program, all while traveling and experiencing the country, just to keep an entertaining and detailed handwritten journal to share with others. Lastly, I had to transcribe all 4 physical journals onto my laptop, edit, re-edit, send to my editor Sarah, and send to publishers. And I'm still currently sending submissions in. This process has taken an immense amount of time and money, and I'm still working on the Attempting Local project. All I ask is, if you're passionate about this podcast, desire the information it provides, or just look forward to the fun listening experience that it offers, please go ahead and support it. Simply head to anchor.fm/Cullan-McNamara or visit patreon.com/CullanMac. Your help and support will go a long way in keeping this podcast up and running. You'll fuel my ability to create and share this beautiful and timely piece of work with all of you. And hopefully one day, this will finally get published in print. So thank you again and enjoy listening to Attempting Local, a year abroad in Galway, Ireland.